Hello everyone and welcome to Germany for the 4th round of the Japanese Grand Touring Series, hosted by PURE and shown here on Tidgney TV. We had an epic race at the Twin Rings Motegi, and hopefully we'll have another epic race here at Nurburgring. It's 200 kilometers, so 100k less. But first of all, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. So MSP J-Town, after that last win and winning every other race so far, he's cemented his position right at the top of the table on 210 points. Outlaw making good progress in the championship, up to 2nd place after that very good strategic drive at the Twin Ring Motegi. And then his battler, his nemesis Spurgy in 3rd position. Those who have had a lot of good fights together, maybe we'll have another one here. Tony, retired last race, has dropped to 4th position in the championship. He'll definitely want to make that up this time around. So a few of the big movers, we've got Phaedrus, who's been moving up the championship throughout the series. Obviously in the first race he was in Lounge 2. Since then he's really jumped up and he's now in the top half of the table. Remember, this is the top 25 drivers. There are other drivers below us as well. So we've got Muriel, who was his first time in Lounge 1 last time, and that's what happens when you are in Lounge 1, you jump up 14 positions. You'll notice there's a few guys there, TNT, Joe Truck and Cam from NJ. They've been battling quite hard together in Lounge 2 and Lounge 3 when we've had 3 lounges, and they are level on points. It's very, very close, so these battles are really happening lower down in the field. Then we have Dr. Watson, who's been making good progress there, in 25th position at the moment. He's won the last 2 lounges in Lounge 2, I believe. So maybe he's made it into this one. We'll have to have a look when we have a look at the grid. Looking at the Constructors' Championship, we have not many movers really. There's the Nissan Calsonic who's gone up 2 positions, and the Yellow Hats who have dropped 2. But the main reason for that was there was only one driver from the Yellow Hat team racing at the Twin Ring, and if you only got one driver racing, you lose out on points. So without further ado, let's jump to the grid as we watch them on their warm-up lap. So we're looking at Alexis Denso-Sard, and you're probably wondering who that is. And it's not MSP J-Town, believe it or not, as we'll have a look at the grid. So anything in red is a change basically, and we are actually looking at Tony. So yes, Tony is now in Alexis Denso-Sard. He's a privateer, he's left the Supra. And the reason for that, he wants to beat MSP J-Town at all costs. So if you can't beat him, join him essentially. So he's in the same car. They're not in the same team, and we'll have to see what Tony does. Obviously he's made a big statement already by getting the pole position, and by some margin with a 7/10 gap to 2nd position, which is GM Matthew in 2nd position. He's missed out on a few lounges. He's back here now, and we'll see what he can do with that 2nd spot. The championship leader MSP J-Town in 3rd position. What's he going to do now? Tony's in the same car. It'll be very interesting to see. Is Tony going to start closing the gap on the championship? Then our Spurgy in 4th position. He's always up there. He's up there again in his Yellow Hat GTR. And we'll see what Spurgy can do. See if he can overtake Outlaw. He's ahead of Outlaw in this qualification, and that would put Spurgy into 2nd position. We then have Hashino in his Yellow Hat as well. So 2 Yellow Hats starting together. He's back, and we'll see what he can do. We then have GTP Pasm. He's got a red highlight. He's changed teams. Wasn't in the last race. He's back here in a different car in the Nismo Z. Same team as Outlaw. And we'll see what Pasm can do. Obviously he had a very good race at Monza. We then have Outlaw, who's doing very well at the moment, 2nd in the championship. He'll want to jump ahead of Spurgy to make sure he keeps that 2nd and starts to gain on MSP J-Town. We then have MSP Rico, MSP J-Town's teammate, starting in 8th position. So we have a full contingent of drivers, 16 drivers. And Scandiggy starts in 9th position, once again in Lounge 1, with Ghost Driver in 10th place. We have a newcomer into Lounge 1, Moleman, in Alexis Petronas Toms, starting in 11th position, and he'll want to just do a consistent run here, make sure he jumps up the Drivers' Championship. He's in 40th at the moment in the Championship. He'll definitely make up some ground. Then have Phaedrus once again in Lounge 1, 12th in the Championship. He'll want to keep moving up that field. We then have MSP Juju in the other Calsonic Impulse team. You'll notice there's 2 there, with Nizman starting in 14th position, but he's in the Ultra, Juju's in the Tech. Can't tell the difference really on track, but we know now from the grid. Then I have Andro, who's highlighted in red. That's IRT RB26. Changed his name to Andro. bit easier to say for me. And it's nice to see him back racing in the Japanese Grand Touring Series. We then have Russ starting at the back of the grid in 16th position. He was the newcomer last time, and he's made it once again into Lounge 1. But we are on board with Tony as they come around the final corner to start this race. 200 kilometers here in Germany at the Nurburgring. We're on the GP5 circuit, which means we go down all the way to that hairpin corner. And we're just waiting for the start of the race. And it has already started. We've got Tony making a very good move. J-Town's already made a move on GM Matthew there, straight into second position. But it's all about what happens going into this corner. Spurgey's looking on the inside of GM Matthew as we jump a bit further back in the grid, possibly. GM Matthew is still fighting with J-Town. J-Town's definitely got that on the inside. So that's J-Town up to second position. Matthew dropping to third. And everybody making it. Ooh, there's a bit of sliding going on there. Pasm's making up a bit of ground here. In third position, so's Ghost Driver. Skendiggy's lost out. Ghost Driver moving up to ninth position. Pasm and Rico are having a bit of a battle there. Pasm in a new car as well, so he'll want to learn that car. But it seems we've had a pretty decent start. Not huge amounts of movement. Pasm's made a move, J-Town's made a move. So we'll see what happens from here then. As we have that epic image out with someone running a bit of the gravel there, that means they're going to lose time. It looked like a Nissan. And it was Juju, and that means this man's making a move on the inside. Has he done it? Juju defends round the outside. Defends from this man there. With Tidgney in 13th position. So a lot of people running very wide there. We've got a big. Who was that? Was Moleman. We've got Nisman making a mistake as well. And Phaedrus made a mistake in there as well. A lot of people went into the gravel. Obviously the downforce, if you remember from the first race, it does have an effect. So everybody going into those Schumacher S's did have to back off a little bit more than they thought. And that's cost a few people a position. But Phaedrus is going to come back at Andro here. We've got Juju and Moleman fighting, but we're going to stay on this battle between Phaedrus and Andro as they come up to the chicane. Phaedrus has overtaken him initially, ran a bit deep, has kept the position, but is Andro going to come back on the inside? He does the cutback. He's got the inside for the next corner. And Andro does. He gets the position back. Great racing here. So he finished the first lap of this race. And they're going to have a huge battle going into this first corner. As Phaedrus on the inside. Is Andro going to defend? If he stays there now, he's got the inside for the next corner. And he does indeed. And we've also got Russ there, looking on the inside of Phaedrus there, but those stay the same. Looking a bit further up the field, we've got Pasm and Outlaw there. And Spurgey's made a move on GM Matthew. Sorry, I missed that one. Spurgey's now up to third position. Obviously wants to get away from Outlaw so we can get to second in the championship. And I reckon Spurgey will be one to look out for here. Obviously a very skilled driver. And we'll see what he can do in the rest of the race. We then have GM Matthew and Hashino there, who is under all sorts of pressure from Pasm. He's coming to Schumacher S's again. Remember, there was a few people that went off here. Now, obviously, none of these leading group. It was more down the field. So one's hit the gravel slightly there, up ahead. It's probably GM Matthew that. Tell you what, the front two are really jumping ahead of everybody else here. If I just display that entire map, if you look on the map, Tony has built up a massive gap to J-Town, and J-Town's already built up a massive gap to Spurgey. So those two really extending the lead very early on. We're going to stay with this main pack, see what happens. As Spurgey's under all sorts of pressure to come up to the chicane. Matthew cutting that a little bit. Gained a bit. Ooh, Matthew gained a bit of speed there. Cut it a little bit more. Still legal though. As he comes into that final corner. Now it's going to be all about slipstream coming down this straight. It's a bit of a long straight into a very sharp braking zone. And they're all going to be following each other. It could be 3-4 wide. We'll have to see, but it's going to be GM Matthew going to be approaching Spurgey as they come up to this sharp corner. Matthew looks to the inside, dives on the brakes. That looks like he's outbroke himself. He definitely has outbroke himself. Where's Matthew going to come out? He's lost 2 positions. He's lost 3 positions there. Completely outbroke himself. Unfortunately there for Matthew, he's dropped from 2nd to 6th now. He'll want to settle down a bit, just refocus, and then try and move back up. Still with the pack though, so he's not lost out too much other than the positions. So the yellow hats together then, and Pasm. Where is Outlaw in this? Outlaw's just dropped off this pack a little bit. If he was there, he could have maybe jumped on GM Matthew, but hasn't done. He'll want to stay with these guys though. Could obviously use strategy like last time. Outlaw used a lot of strategy to really jump the field, as it was 2 stops last time. Not sure how many stops they're going to do this time. I would think it'd be 1 stop for most people. 2 stop could probably work as well. Depends how hard they want to push the tyres. Obviously the leaders are really pulling out a massive gap early on. They could 2 stop and be very comfortable, but then it's obviously if somebody undercuts each other with Tony and MSP J-Town. We will keep an eye out for them just in case they do start battling, but Tony has got a bit of a gap to him at the moment, so there's no point looking at them at the moment. We're just checking out Outlook. Actually, we're going to jump up ahead as Hashino and Pasm are looking very close indeed. No moves there. I reckon Pasm might have a look on the start-finish straight. It could be very interesting to see. Hashino could have a look at Spurgey as well. Not sure how the team orders are going to play. Obviously we're over halfway now in this. Well, this is essentially halfway. The 7 races, remember. So this is round 4. But they're on the start-finish straight now. What's Hashino going to do? What's Pasm going to do? Is Hashino going to try and dive bomb Spurgey? He looks to the inside. No, he pulls him behind. Very sensible. Very sensible driving. And it's all line of stern there as they come through that first corner. The pack back there as well. There's a bit of battling going on. Ghost Driver's moved up a couple of positions. Who's lost out then? If we have a look a bit further down, I think Moleman may have lost out a little bit. I'm not too sure. Andro's gained a few positions. Andro's definitely gained a few positions, and he's on the back of this group. So he's following Moleman at the moment. He'll want to overtake Moleman to try and keep moving up the field. He's not been in the last couple of races, and now he's changed his name. It was RB26. Now called Andro, and he did well in the first race. Unfortunate to retire in that race. He was doing well up to that point. He was really pushing. He then continued to perform, and we missed him last race. As you can see, the leaders, we saw the leaders right in the background there, already up in the Schumacher S's and straight carrying on as fast as they can really. They're pulling out a massive gap. If we have a look at the times actually, they've already pulled out a 7-second gap to Spurgey, the leaders. And look at their last laps and fastest laps. They are so close. They're lapping a second quicker than anybody else in the field at the moment. These two are really going to have a big rivalry. I can see this happening now. And it'll be great to watch. We'll jump back to the main screen though. Have a look a bit further up the field. Obviously this is the big battle at the moment as far as you go up the field with Pasm and Hashino. And so he ran really tight there. They'll have to watch out because Pasm could get him on the exit. As they cross the line, start lap 5. It says lap 6, but remember we have a warm-up lap as well in there. But this group is definitely going to be battling as they come down to the straights. Still no movement. Looks like Spurgey's got very... Oh, that was very close to the rear of Spurgey there. Just outbroke himself a little bit. Obviously the slipstream can catch you off guard a little bit. You'll have a couple of extra mile an hour than you normally would in practice. And you do have to be aware of that. Well, Pasm is very close. As is GM Matthew. Settled down a little bit now. He did drop from 2nd to 6th position. And he'll want to reclaim some of those positions back. Obviously the top 2 are quite far ahead, so he could jump back up to 3rd. Not sure 2nd's in his reach at the moment though. So, Pasm looks on the attack. There was a little tap there, little tap on Hashino. Pasm gave him a little tap, letting him know he's there. As we see the leaders there, just coming out of that hairpin section. Just shows you the distance they have pulled. And this group is very close. It's obviously a bit of a remembrance to race 1. Similar distance to 200k, and Spurgey being the centre of attention with defending and under attack as well. And Spurgey's always up there as well. But we're on Hashino at the moment in his yellow hat. The 2 yellow hats doing very well. This is the top team at the moment, scoring team. I know there's 2 Lexus Denso Sards ahead, but they are not teammates. Tony's a privateer. J-Town is the works driver for that team. But we're just staying on this battle at the moment. We'll jump to Spurgey, see what Spurgey's doing. Hashino looks up the inside, just pulls back in again. Don't want to dive bomb your teammate there. Of course, there's a lot of pressure on him as well, because from behind with Pasm and GM Matthew, as they all want to get by. Outlaw's lost touch with this group a little bit. Outlaw isn't performing as well at this one as he has done at others. Oh, someone's span in the background. Who's span? That looked like Moleman has span in his Lexus there. I just saw that on the map briefly. I just saw him drop a few positions. And that means Andro has moved up more positions. Nizman's catching up again. He was in 16th place. And MSP Juju has also lost out in this as well. We're going to have to keep an eye on the map here, just for people losing out. The Schumacher S's will definitely be causing a bit of an issue for people in the packs and battles that they're in with the downforce. Got a little bit of damage to the right rear. Shouldn't be too much damage though, it'll just mean it'll be a bit sideways in certain sections. And it looks like GM Matthew has lost out there, he's ran wide. GM Matthew, unfortunate there, he's lost out again. It looks like he might have had a spin. I'm not sure what's happened there. Pasm and Matthew must have had a connection, because Pasm has lost out to Outlaw as well. So something's happened in that middle sector. And that's meant Matthew's dropped a lot of positions, 2nd to 9th now. Pasm sort of in the position. Oh, Ghost Driver's making a move on the inside. Excellent move by Ghost Driver. Very, very opportunistic. And he's still not got it done. Pasm's going to have the inside for the next corner. Very unlucky there by Ghost. Very opportunistic move there. Very late as well, but very good. But with the accident between Pasm and Matthew, which we unfortunately didn't see, that means the pack has split up a little bit. It means the Yellow Hats can now extend their gap between themselves and Outlaw. Pasm's now going to be on the defensive from Slipstream from Ghost Driver. He's very close indeed as he comes up to the chicane. Pasm defends. Ghost Driver looks to the outside. Both break around at the same time there. You saw the nose dip. Ghost Driver's got... Ooh, bit of touchy there. Bit touchy. But Ghost Driver's got this next straight as well that he can have a look at. Very sideways there. 4-wheel drifting slightly. He gets a good run off. Could get the Slipstream. And then it could be Skendiggy having a look as well. As they continue on. This man's moved up a few more positions. Ghost Driver's looking on the inside of Pasm. Got the inside, and excellent move indeed. Defends that very well, but Pasm's coming back on the outside. Is he going to do it? Does indeed. He remains in that position. 6th position so far. Bit sideways on the exits. Going to have to be careful. Ghost Driver's all over the back of him. Is Ghost Driver going to look up the inside? Nope. Pasm comes across. Very good battling between these two so far. Very interesting battle as well. Still interesting to know what happened between Pasm and GM Matthew. It was very interesting just to see their names drop, and the pack to suddenly open. It must have been a spin. Definitely must have been contact somewhere. Especially to cause the gaps between each other as well. You know, drivers darting each and every other way to make sure they avoid the incident. So now this is the battle, the main battle. Pasm, Ghost Driver, Skendiggy. We'll have a look a bit further behind. Nizman's on his own. He's gone up from 16th to 10th, as he did lose out at the start initially. Russ has gained a few positions there. He started in 16th position at the start of the race. He's now into 13th position. He wants to keep his nose clean. Maybe try his one-stop strategy that he did last time. Got 100 Ks less, so it's much easier to do this time. Phaedrus has just lost out to MSP Juju. And has dropped to 16th position. MSP Juju there. He's going to have a look at Moleman as he comes up. We've got movement there between GM Matthew and Nizman. Just have a look at this battle. No, nothing's happening. Let's have a look at GM Matthew briefly. Yep, him and Nizman are very close indeed. Remember, this GTR's got very good straight line speed, so I can imagine Nizman having a look at the end of this straight. Because Matthew has nobody to slipstream. Nizman's got all of Matthew's slipstream. As he looks to the inside, is he going to dive bomb him? He does indeed, and makes it stick. Matthew's going to come on the inside, try and go for the cup back, but Nizman's on the inside. Who's going to keep this position? Giving each other... Ooh, there was a little twitch there from Nizman, but no contact. Still very good racing side by side. And Nizman gets that position into 9th position. And continues his move up the field. Next on his list is Skendiggy. And how far is Skendiggy up there? He's a couple of seconds difference. Somebody's in the pits. Somebody's in the pits. That's Andro there in the pits. So now he's going to be on his own. Different strategy to everybody else. We'll have to see what happens. He could get some good fast lap times in. We'll keep an eye out for those. And come back and cut back against some of these. Definitely try and cut back against maybe the top 10 maybe. Bottom 10, sorry. Or from 10th to 16th. And we'll see what happens there. We've got some very close battling a bit further up. It's Ghost Driver and Pasm still. Pasm should just come into shot any second now. There you go, there's Pasm, there's Ghost Driver. And the leaders are battling. The leaders are actually battling now. It's Tony versus MSP J-Town. Lap 9. And this is going to be an epic battle indeed. These are rivals, the biggest rivals. They're in the same car now. So it's basically same strength, same weaknesses. And this could turn out to be absolutely epic as they come down the straight. J-Town's going to want to look to the inside. Does look to the inside. Doesn't outbrake each other. Tony braking very well there. And very close indeed. You couldn't get any cars in between them at all. Battle for first position. So we have a quick look at the lap times while they're going around. You can still see the battle in the top left hand corner. We've got MSP Rico overtaking GM Matthew. GM Matthew dropping another position. Actually in the pits, I think. Yeah, definitely in the pits. So he's on a different strategy now. And Hashino overtaking Spurgy there. No team orders happening. And let's have a look at fastest laps. They're still exactly the same pretty much. Tony must have made a mistake last lap. Lost a second. That's where that gap dropped. And that means Slipstream now comes into play. And they'll be battling for a very long time. Let's see if strategy has an effect. We're just going to jump to GM Matthew briefly. Is he going to stay ahead of Andro? He is indeed there. As he comes out the pit. So Andro and GM Matthew on similar strategies. Can they one stop for the rest of the race? Perhaps. Perhaps. Looks like he's filled for the end of the race, but we'll have to see there. We jump back to Tony and MSP J-Town. These two pushing very hard. Look at that gap they have to MSP Hashino, who's in third now. They'll be battling, him and Spurgy. And they've got to be careful, because if they start battling, Outlaw's going to come into play. Outlaw and Spurgy have been battling in every race pretty much so far, so it'll be interesting to watch that one as well. But we're watching the leaders at the moment. They come round the chicane there. Obviously the wall's been taken. Oh, a bit of sideways action from MSP J-Town. That's how much they're pushing. They're getting on the throttle as early as they can. So we'll see what happens now as they come on. Look, there's lots and lots of twitching going on. Tony trying to break the slipstream, goes straight to the inside straight away. Is he going to move back over just to get onto the racing line again? J-Town stays to the left. And has broke very, very late as they both go into it. And Tony defends very well indeed. J-Town tried to just outbrake him a bit more because he was on the outside. Didn't work this time. It's going to be very interesting to see how J-Town reacts to try and overtake Tony. Tony's defending very well indeed. Tony, remember, our pole position man, 7/10 faster than anybody in the field. And so, as somebody else comes into the pits, who's that just coming into the pits? It's Moleman coming into the pits now. He's got damage on the left side. I'm not sure what that circle means. Probably brakes or something along that nature. As he comes in now. Now, what's going to happen between these two that have pitted and Moleman? We'll just stay on and see what happens. As I just noticed on the map, Outlaw has caught up to the yellow hats in Moleman's come out at the back. So Andro's gained a few positions, and we're going to jump to the yellow hats because they have Outlaw in their battle now. They didn't want this to happen. Outlaw's caught up, and this is a freeway battle for third position, last spot on the podium. We're going to jump to Tony. Actually, they're going to come onto a straight. Tony and MSP J-Town. Who's going to make the move? How is J-Town going to get past? Is Tony too good at defending? We're definitely going to find out this race. J-Town's had it all his own way so far in this championship. Not anymore. Tony has really brought it back to MSP J-Town. Shows you how strong this car is as well. As Tony comes in the pits. Tony has come in the pits. It's very interesting to see then. This could mean 2 stop. This could mean 1 stop. I'm not sure what's fastest, but we're definitely going to have to watch out. We're going to stay on with Tony as well, see where he comes out versus the rest of the field. He'll want clean air, but I don't think he'll come out in clean air. I reckon he's going to come out around MSP Juju or Russ. I'm looking at those that are just coming out the chicane now, maybe. Oh, he could have timed this spot on, actually. Could have timed this spot on. As a few drivers pass, and this next one passes. If that comes out in clean air, that is absolutely perfect. Who's that coming up on Tony? That's MSP Rico. That's MSP J-Town's teammate. He could hold him up. He doesn't want him to hold him up. There's two legs. There's a bit of contact there. But Tony's trying to stay in front of MSP Rico. And, oh, that was timing. That means he's going to have some free air. There's somebody else in the pits as well. But I'm just going to stay with Tony briefly just to see if MSP Rico does come back. He doesn't. He had to time that to perfection. If MSP Rico came out ahead, he could have held him up for J-Town. Was not to be, though. And that means Tony's now going to try and push to break that 1 second gap that he did have. Lost it. And then they were battling with MSP J-Town. If you can get that 1 second gap back again, he could break the slipstream and try and win this race. As we look a bit further down the field, it was Juju who was in the pits. And he's come out behind Andros. Andros making up a few positions since pitting just before everybody else, so he might struggle a little bit later on, but we'll have to watch out for that. So what's J-Town going to do as he comes round up to the chicane? Is he going to pit or is he going to carry on? Are they going to be on different strategies? Now if I was J-Town, I'd probably pit if two-stop is faster, but if it's not, I'd probably stay out. It looks like he is pitting indeed. Tony went for the... So Tony's gone for the undercut. J-Town's trying to stop the undercut. Obviously J-Town's got a bit of... He had a bit of contact there with the wall. I was just going to jump to Spurgey. Spurgey's in a very close battle with Hashino and Alo. Hashino goes straight into the pits there. So it looks like people are going for the two-stop strategy. Seems like two-stop is the quickest of the strategies. So we now have Spurgey with Outlaw, then Pasm, and Ghost Driver. But we're going to jump to... If we can jump to J-Town, that is. There we go. Jump to J-Town, so we're going to see where he comes out. Now, where is Tony? Tony's next on the list. Tony's passed him. Tony's got past. Now, is it a second gap? Is it a second gap? J-Town came up. I'm not sure of the rule on that. We didn't find out from last time, but they've got 3 Lexus Denso swords there. And is it a 1 second gap? Now, Tony's tyres are going to be warmer. This is where Tony has to really pull a gap. If he doesn't pull the gap, J-Town comes back and they end up in an epic battle for the next pit stop if they are going to pit again. Obviously one could stay out to try and eke out the extra. But do you know what? That is very close to a second. That is very close to a second. We'll have to see what happens at the end of this lap with the timing. As J-Town is going to want to make sure that's very close. That's on the edge, the very edge of the slipstream. Outlaw has lost a little bit to Spurgey. Spurgey is now obviously trying to pull away from Outlaw as we look at the first place position there. Obviously these guys haven't pitted yet. They could be on a different strategy. They could be going for the 1 stop or they could be going for the 2 stop. We'll find out at the end of this lap, I assume. If they carry on, they could go for the 1 stop, which will be around lap 20. To me, the tyres aren't too bad, so they could go for the 1 stop. It just depends how long they are in the pits. Now, they don't seem to be in the pits for that long. The pits are very short. So that could mean that a 2-stop is faster. Obviously, the wall's been demolished there. That was obviously from an earlier incident. I assume that was Moleman when he span on the chicane. So these guys stay out. Look at Skendiggy. Skendiggy comes in. Nisman's moving up these positions. Nisman will go up to 5th position. His next target will be Ghost Driver, but he's a bit further down the road, so Nisman gets a bit of free air. And then what's Tony's gap to MSP J-Town? I want to check this. It's 1.6 seconds. It's 1.6, which means Tony has broken that gap again. So now Tony just doesn't want to make a mistake. He just wants to stay as he is, and we'll see what happens. He's broke that 1 second gap, which is the slipstream. So now it's all up to Tony. What's he going to do? As we jump back. Now, of course, we say it's between Tony and J-Town. Spurgey and Outlaw aren't pitting. Pasm hasn't pitted. Ghost Driver hasn't. Or Nisman. Now, if any of these guys realise that a 1 stop is quicker, they're all in the battle for the win. Which is quite crazy. So we'll have to watch this. Obviously it's getting to the end of the 2-stop strategies really. I would think from this point on that anybody who pits is going to be on a 1 stop. Just a very long one stop. As Tony's not going to want to get held up by Nisman here. This could be key to victory for Tony. If he can get past Nisman quite quickly, that would be good. Obviously Nisman's tyres are a lot worse. So it's up to Tony. What's he going to do now? He's just going to want to get past as fast as humanly possible so that J-Town then has to battle with Nisman. He's got this straight now. He's come up to him at about the right time so he can get the slipstream, come up to the chicane, maybe overtake there. But he'd have to be careful on the next straight afterwards. Yeah, he stays behind. He's being smart. He's waiting for the straight afterwards where he can get more slipstream, overtake him, and then go into the more complex section. So nobody's gone in the pits up ahead, so they're definitely doing a one-stop. And Nisman stayed out. So now what's Tony going to do? Is he just going to get the slipstream? Very, very close indeed, and pulls out, and now gets that position, I assume. I want to check the timing again between him and MSP J-Town briefly. But yep, Tony's definitely got that. Defends it well, comes across, gets on the racing line, and has got that position. So 5th position for Tony. That gap between Tony and J-Town has come down a little bit. J-Town's actually got his fastest lap and is the fastest lap of the race as well. It shows you how hard J-Town is actually pushing to try and catch up to Tony as we jump to J-Town now. How long is he going to be held up by Nisman? He's coming into a quite complex section. He's going to want to overtake. Nisman looks to defend. J-Town goes on the inside. Excellent move by J-Town. He needed to do that, and he has done it. Nisman went to defend briefly, came back across, and J-Town just took the opportunity to overtake. And that looks like he's back in the slipstream as well. He's really pushing hard. And we'll see what Tony and J-Town do as they approach the next couple of drivers. And I'm just going further down the field. There's a massive battle going on at the back of the field between who's in this? We've got Rico, who's just pitted, with Juju, Andro, and Moleman. And looks like Juju's going on the inside. A little bit of a tap, a little bit pushing and shoving. Both stay on the track though. Rico's got the inside, Juju's on the outside. And Rico keeps that position. This is a very close battle. Now Juju and Andro are different teammates, so Juju's in Impulse Tech and Andro is in the Impulse Ultra. Obviously the same cars, different teams, so they are not teammates, so they can battle away as hard as they want. Now I'm just going to jump to the front of the field again as Tony is approaching Ghost Driver, along with MSP J-Town, who is right behind him again. So that 1 second gap has been breached, so the slipstream is back there again. And this could be very epic indeed. Now these guys up front are doing a one stop. These guys look like they're doing a two stop or a very long one stop. Now after doing a very long one stop, these guys in front could catch them near the end of the race. They really, really could. They're running a little bit wide there. But they're now on the back of Ghost Driver. Ghost Driver's tyres are a lot worse than Tony's and MSP J-Town's. How hard is he going to battle? Not sure if I was Ghost Driver, I'd let them pass and then just try and keep with him. Not lose too much time. And then make sure you try and overtake Pasm in the pit stops. Could see Ghost Driver pitting slightly bit earlier to try and get the cutback. Obviously the cutback works well. We've seen Tony get that second. And Ghost Driver does what I thought he would do. Lets Tony pass straight away. It's very smart driving by Ghost Driver, who then got MSP J-Town right behind him as well. And hey, Ghost Driver defends it. Ghost Driver. Now remember, Tony is Ghost Driver's old teammate, so they are still obviously friends and everything. And Ghost Driver's defending against MSP J-Town. MSP J-Town's being forced to go around the outside and has finally done it. But you know, that was very interesting there. So Ghost is obviously wanting Tony to win this race. He defended against MSP J-Town, let Tony through, and that's old teammates still helping each other out. As Tony is now approaching Pasm. Now are any of these front runners going to go in the pits? Oh, and Pasm's made a mistake there into the chicane. And somebody else made a mistake. That was Ghost Driver outbraking himself into the chicane. As Pasm comes into the pits now. So if he's doing a two-stop, it's a very late two-stop, or it could be a very long one-stop to the end of the race. So that's Tony into third position now, J-Town into fourth. And that is a bit of a gap between them again. So that battling with Ghost Driver did not help J-Town one bit. It did help Tony out, and I think all friends were helping each other there. So we're going to see where Pasm comes out actually. Obviously Pasm's pitted a lot later. Now somebody's coming behind him, I believe that's Phaedrus. Now where's Pasm going to come out here? It's going to come out in some very clean air actually. So GM Matthew's gone through. Now he was battling with GM Matthew earlier. Now Matthew pitted early. So that showed you how much clean tyres have an effect, because Matthew has come out way ahead of Pasm. And Pasm's got a lot to do from that position now. And then we've got that epic battle for that position with Juju, Rico, Andro and Moleman all really pushing hard there. Quite an epic battle between them. Oh, they're running very wide indeed. They'll have to be careful track limits there. You don't want to go too far out. As we jump to the front actually, Tony's overtaken Outlaw, and Tony's on all over the back of Spurgey. And MSP J-Town's showing this battle. This is a battle for first position. Now if these guys are one stopping and Tony's two stopping, this is actual net battling, because they now all have one stop to do each. So Spurgey's going to definitely want to defend this. Outlaw's definitely going to want to defend his position. Obviously Spurgey and Outlaw are battling. Tony's looking on the inside for the chicane. Has he got it? Has he got enough speed? He brakes later. J-Town's trying to follow. That's 2 by 2 into the chicane. Tony's definitely got it. J-Town's actually made up 2 positions on that straight alone. As Outlaw goes into the pits and Spurgey carries on round. He's going to want to get the slipstream and try and break away. This could be a good move from Spurgey, just getting a little extra speed, a little extra lap time out of these old tyres. But though Tony and MSP J-Town making absolutely amazing moves there, going into the chicane, and now it's Tony and MSP J-Town for first position. And they're very close once again. You can't put anything between these two drivers. And they are pushing like crazy. They've done some excellent moves to come back through the field. Now it's a question of whether they are 2 stopping or 1 stopping. As we'll have a look where Outlaw comes out. He's still in the pits at the moment. Now where's Pasm? Pasm is down there, which means Pasm's just coming onto the straight. Now, yeah, so is Pasm going to come out ahead of Outlaw? Now Pasm was behind Outlaw as they come onto the straight. Come on, camera, cut there. And Outlaw's just come out ahead of Pasm. But Pasm's made up some good ground there. Pasm looking on the to overtake, but Outlaw's got the inside coming to the set cut. It's a left-hander, remember. And Outlaw comes across. Now, if I was Pasm, what would I do? I'd probably let Outlaw go, because Outlaw's going to have the cleaner tyres a bit later on, and then that's just going to be holding each other up. And it looks like Pasm is doing that. Playing smart there. Looks like Pasm is going to stay behind. He does stay behind. Pasm is being very smart there. Very good teamwork there between the two drivers, and that also lets Outlaw know that, you know, you can go, you can push Outlaw. I'm not going to try and overtake. Let's pull away from this group behind. So we'll see what they do further on into this race. As we jump to Tony and MSP J-Town as they approach the chicane. They are very close indeed. J-Town looks to the right, but that's the outside. Tony defends on the inside and keeps the position. Has to be very careful of that chicane. That wall is completely demolished now. And Spurgey's there. Is Spurgey going to go into the pits? He looks like he was in the middle of the road. No, carries on. Definitely doing a one-stop is Spurgey. So is Ghost Driver looking at it. As it's now Tony and MSP J-Town. They are very close. There's going to be a move here going down to the first corner. Tony defends on the inside. J-Town goes down the outside. He's got the position initially. Is he going to go around the outside? He does indeed. J-Town has moved up into first position. But this is still only halfway through the race, and these two have got 20 laps to still go of battling. That was an excellent move by J-Town. Obviously the slipstream helps a lot. Went round the outside, then got the inside for the double left. And somebody else is in the pits there. Who's that in the pits? We'll see in a second. That's Russ in the pits. He's doing a one-stop strategy. So we'll see how that plays out. And Phaedrus has lost out on a fair amount of time here. Oh, Phaedrus is doing a one-stop as well, I think. That's why he's that far down. Well, he's lost out on a huge amount, actually. Not sure what's happened to Phaedrus, but he keeps going round. We still have this epic battle around here. Outlaw's leading this battle, actually. It's a 4-car battle. They've actually dropped Moleman. Moleman and Andro have dropped off this battle, actually. But Rico and Juju are still there. Pasm's going to want to defend this from Rico. Yeah, there's no move there by Rico. Outlaw's going to want to try and push away from this as fast as he can. He doesn't want to get involved in this. He wants to keep pushing. He's definitely doing a one-stop strategy. And he is pulling away actually. Maybe Pasm's trying to hold him up a bit. Let Outlaw break away. But doesn't want to... Pasm doesn't want to break away too much. He wants to use that slipstream just to get a little extra speed. It could help him later on in the race. As Tony's actually got back in front of MSP J-Town. And we've got a little bit of a blank screen. Come on, there we go. Looks like Spurgey's maybe in the pits there. He's to the right on the map. And yeah, he is. He's in the pits. And Ghost Driver carries on. This man's in the pits. So these three are one stop him. So I want to see where Spurgey comes out. Tony and MSP J-Town fighting again, going down to the first corner. Looks like Tony's got that. Yes, it looks like Tony's got that initially. So Ghost Driver stays out for one more lap. He's obviously going to want to have the fresher tyres come the end of the race. Shino's made up a lot of ground there. Obviously he was fighting with Spurgey, but they're on different strategies. As now Spurgey comes back out. He's coming out into... Well, we've got to watch out for Pasm here. And Pasm goes by. Pasm is on a one-stop, as does Rico and Outlaw. So yeah, Spurgey coming out in 11th. He'll have the fresher tyres though, so that'll be one to watch out for. Spurgey's going to have to do some overtaking in this race to get any more positions in the field. And this man's dropped a fair few more positions, down to 14th position. But he's only pitting once, so he can now carry on and hope he gets further up the field. Remember, he started very low down in the field, so now he's got the sort of the pit stop out of the way. He can just put his foot to the floor and just focus to the end of the race. I'm going to jump to this battle though. MSP J-Town has got it at the moment. We'll jump to J-Town and we'll see if Tony makes a move coming up to the chicane. Tony made a move here last time. Looks like Tony's had a bit of a slip there. He'll want to catch that up. He probably will catch that up with slipstream, but no overtaking move for Tony coming to the chicane. Unless he absolutely dive bombs here. No, doesn't. Pulls him behind and they go through that chicane. Now if they're two stopping, they pit stopped around lap 12-13, so that would put them around lap 24, 25, 26 sort of area. And we'll have to keep an eye out for that. That's obviously a few laps away just yet, but they could go for an early one, try and do the cutback, try and break away really hard. Oh, as Tony does a very late move there on MSP J-Town, side by side, a little bit of rubbing. Ooh, that was a bit naughty. Tony ran him a bit wide. And MSP J-Town comes back on. Obviously these guys are fighting really hard. Ran a little bit wide. Ghost Driver's finally pitted there. Where's Ghost Driver going to come out? He's got a lot of fueling to do just yet, so he's going to come out way behind. And somebody span. Who's that? I can't even grab him. That's Pasm. Has span on that corner. And Pasm drops to 14th position there. He's going to have a lot of work to do now. As Ghost Driver is now going to come out just in front of Nisman. Very just. These two were fighting for position before. Nisman's trying to go around the outside. Ghost Driver's going to want to get ahead, but Nisman gets ahead. Nisman has got that position, meaning Ghost Driver's going to have to make that move to pass Nisman. They're both on one stops. So there's definitely some overtaking still to do there for Ghost Driver. So we have a look a bit further up the field. Hashino's all on his own. We've not really seen too much of him, all on his own. Free air, of course. We'll have a look at lap times briefly. So we've got MSP J-Town on a 1:54.1, his fastest lap. That shows you how much he was pushing. Only the two guys in 54s, and they're the two up front. We're going to jump to the leaders quickly. Tony's still got that, defending hard. These two are really pushing. You can see how much they are pushing. The cars are absolutely everywhere. As J-Town looks to the inside, pulls back across. But they're going to have slipstream coming down here. Bit of gravel, bit of dust picked up there as they come on the start-finish straight. Across the line. As they come down now, Tony's defending very hard. J-Town's going to have to go around the outside if he's going to make the move. They both come across. Tony goes for the racing line. J-Town goes for the racing line. J-Town's tries to go around the outside again. He's still got his nose in there. That's J-Town's. J-Town gets that position. Back into first position there. We've seen an excellent masterclass of overtaking as Tony goes for the cutback. Tony's got the inside, but J-Town, if he keeps his nose in, got the inside for the next corner. Side by side, a little bit of drifting, a little bit of touching. Tony runs a little bit wide, but J-Town gets that position, back into first position. And the next time they'll be able to make a move is at the hairpin. Just having a look on the map if there's any more close battles, but this is an absolutely epic battle between these two. Close rivals. Now they're in the same car, they are absolutely pushing each other to the limits. Now pit stop wise, if they pit stop again, they're going to come out behind Hoshino, but ahead of Skendiggy, I believe. And Skendiggy's done well. We've not been paying too much attention to Skendiggy, but he did this last time. He just made his way up the field without really putting too much attention on himself. And he's doing the same again there. So definitely one to watch out for. And really showing that Honda. Being the top driver of the Hondas so far, Skendiggy, and we'll see what he can carry on doing in that car. We'll jump to these leaders though, as they now come onto this little straight again. No any move's going to happen. Seems to be absolutely epic watching these guys go through here. Their cars are on two wheels quite a lot as they really hit the curbs. They come into that chicane. They go over one bump. They go over two bumps. That was all four wheels off there. But obviously two wheels have to stay on the curbing there. They will have been on the curbing, but obviously they get a bit of air there. Don't think zero wheel drive is better than two wheel drive. And they come on the start finish straights. MSP J-Town's a little bit further back this time. He might struggle to make a move here. Tony does defend on the inside anyway, just in case. Moves back to the racing line. And keeps that position. So no movement there as we look a bit further down the field. We've got Outlaw who's having to defend from MSP Rico a little bit. Looks like Rico's made a mistake. Oh no, looking at the wrong battle there. It's Rico and Juju fighting each other. These two have been fighting each other for quite a while actually. It'll be interesting to see. Juju's tyres are a little worse for wear, so he's just hanging in there with the slipstream. This is where slipstream can become useful. If you've got worse tyres, you can just hang in there with the lap times and then pull back obviously when you get better tyres on again, clean tyres. And it looks like Rico is defending that position very nicely. Not too much aggressive out of Juju, so he's obviously trying to do that. Just keep with Rico, try and get as much time as possible on the more worn tyres, and then try and gain more positions from obviously pitting earlier. This group further back is split up a little bit between Nisman and Andro. Ghost Driver's in this battle. He doesn't want to be there really. He wants to be further up the field. So Ghost Driver's going to have to really pull out a lot of work. He was really close with Nisman actually, so he's lost out on a bit of time there as Ghost Driver. Must have made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, you know, Ghost Driver's got to try and get past Andro pretty sharpish actually, to try and maintain any sort of position. And it looks like he's not doing that at the moment, so we'll keep an eye out for Ghost Driver. As we're going to jump to the leaders as they come on the start finish straight again. Look at the cars, Twitch there, they exit. MSP J-Town in front of Tony. Is Tony going to make a move? Is he going to make a move? He doesn't look like he's making a move, looks like he's just going to pull. Oh, he broke really late. Has he got any damage from that? No, he hasn't. He broke really, really late and just absolutely whacked the back. Unless that was a bit of lag as well in there, but that's very harsh. Pasm's just made a move on Moleman. It looks like, and Ghost Driver looks like he's making a move on Andro as well. Now Pasm definitely made a move up there, but I'm not sure. Moleman must have touched a wheel in the gravel, and that's meant Pasm overtook. Ghost Driver's on the inside though of Andro and has got that move, but this is a start-finish straight, and the GTR has a lot of straight line speed, and Pasm's in there as well. What's Pasm going to do? Is he going to get both of them coming into the first corner? They all stick to the inside. Andro goes to the left. Pasm's going to shoot to the right more than likely, is he not? Nope, pulls in behind. Ghost Driver defends to the right, trying to maintain that position, but Andro's going to have the inside. We'll jump to Ghost Driver and Andro. Andro's still got the inside. Ghost Driver trying to go around the outside. Supra's got a little bit more grip, remember. It's a GTR with a little bit more straight line speed, and Ghost Driver's kept that position. Very well played by Ghost Driver. But Pasm's now in this battle as well, and is Moleman in this battle? He's just catching on to the end of it. Needs to put his foot down a little bit more to try and get in there, get in the battle. Pasm looks to the inside, doesn't quite get it. But it's quite an epic battle here now for 11th position at the moment. Oh, someone spun! That was... Pazum must have touched him there. Pazum must have touched Andro. He's holding back, letting him go back through there. Pazum's having a bit of a nightmare this race. Little bit of a touch there from Pazum on the rear, and that just completely span Andro there. Well played for Pazum though, just holding up, waiting for him. Obviously the mistake happened, but fairness in driving, he held up for Andro to come back on track, which now puts them in the grips of Russ. He's having a bit of a quiet race this one. At least he's not spinning. He did spin last race, and he's doing alright so far on a one-stop strategy. How's Skendiggy doing? He's all out on his own lonesome, and somebody's in the pits. That's GM Matthew coming in for his second pit stop. His second pit stop now. Where's Matthew going to come out? Obviously this is his last pit stops. Wherever he comes out, he was about 11th before all the pit stops happened. He dropped from 2nd to 11th. It's now where he comes out and what time he can make up from there. Obviously the leaders are still battling there out up front, but I want to see where Matthew comes out as he's in the pits. That's Matthew dropping. He's gonna come out in a battle there between Pazum and Andro. Now if he can get ahead of these two as he comes out, Pazum's got ahead. Oh, flipping heck! Who was that? That was Russ, that wasn't it? He's got engine damage. Unlucky for Russ that. I'm not sure what happened on the exit there. Now Russ was obviously on the inside. Mustn't have known Matthew was there. But he's got engine damage now, so look, that's what engine damage does to you. It slows you right down. He's going to want to come in the pits at the end of this lap. So his one stop turns into a two stop. You got to be careful of that on the pits. Matthew is on the inside. You've got to be careful of anyone coming out. Keep an eye out on the map on that start finish straight, because that's what can happen. Now Matthew got absolutely whacked up the rear, so that's his tyre and brake broken. You can see that in the car. It's sort of going diagonally slightly. Now he's gonna... Oh, someone's in the pits. One of the leaders is in the pits. Who's that? That's Tony pitting earlier. This is obviously the two-stop strategy coming into play now. What's J-Town going to do? Is he going to pit next lap, or is he going to carry on? Tony's in the pits. Where's he going to come out? Hashino carries on. Now it's where he comes out versus Outlaw, because Outlaw's on a one-stop. As Skendiggy comes in for his second stop. Tony's already on his way out. Yeah, Tony's definitely got clean air. Shows you how much of a gap the leaders really did have, and that means Tony's now got very, very clean air. He needs to put in a whopper of an outlap, as we've got all sorts of people pitting in now. So Outlaw stayed out. That's Skendiggy coming into the pits. We've got MSP Rico staying out. It looks like he'll pit again. Spurgey's definitely staying out. Spurgey's on a one-stop strategy. Who's moving? We've got... That's still Skendiggy. Who else is in there? Juju's in there. That means Ghost Driver's moving up the field. We've got some more people. That's Moleman coming in. And we've got Andro coming in. That's obviously his scheduled stop. Phaedrus, and then Russ is definitely going to come in because of that engine damage. Very unfortunate for Russ. He's still in Lounge 1 though, so he still gets some good points, and just messes up the entrance of the pit stop there, getting a little bit more damage. But now, it's what MSP J-Town does. What is he going to do? Is he going to pit, or is he going to carry on? Now obviously if he carries on, he could get the tyre grip for the end of the race. Now do you want that so that you can get the position? Or do you come in, make sure the cutback doesn't happen? I wonder what's going through his mind. We'll soon find out as he comes around the chicane. Is he going to stay out or come in the pits? Come straight into the pits there. Obviously worried about the cutback. And that's him into the pits. Now we're going to stay on J-Town, see what happens with him versus Tony. Now, what's Hashino's tyres like? Hashino has really good tyres, you know. I reckon he could have stayed out. I reckon he could have stayed out and maybe tried to go to the end of the race. But he's obviously playing it safe, which is fair enough. We'll see where he comes out versus Spurgey. They were together before all the pit stops. And we'll see what happens after the pit stops. So that's J-Town coming out. Tony's coming down start finish straight now. There is Tony. Where's he going to come out? We see J-Town. We see Tony. As they come down. And these two are going to be in a battle to the end of the race, it looks like. Tony didn't get the cutback. J-Town must have done a stonker of a in the lap there, and that means they are now 1 and 2. We'll see what happens. Hashino has definitely lost out in these pit stops. He comes out behind Ghost Driver. No, in front of Ghost Driver, sorry. Behind Nisman though. Nisman's definitely going to the end. Ghost Driver lost out with all the battling that happened. Who else is in the pits? Pasm's still going around. He's stuck behind Skendiggy, who's just pitted, so Skendiggy will definitely pull away from Pasm there. But it's all kicking off. It's definitely kicking off up front now with J-Town and Tony. They're side by side once again. They're going to that hairpin. Now J-Town's going to have the colder of the tyres, so it'll be a bit less grippy initially. But he'll have the grip later on in the race when Tony's tyres will have done a few extra laps. Now is J-Town going to take the 5th win? Obviously it's 4th round, 5th win. We had 2 heats at Monza. Or is Tony actually going to break this record that's going for J-Town? Is Tony going to get the win? To come on this straight. J-Town's really trying to pull away now. They approach the chicane. Is Tony going to make a move, or is he just going to hang on? Nah, just hangs on behind. Cutting it quite a lot there. They'll have to be careful. We'll see if any penalties get applied after the race for track limits. I have no idea what the result is. I literally load the replay and just hit go. So we'll see what happens as they cross the line, start lap 28. Well, it's actually lap 27, remember. We did do 1 warm-up lap, but it's loaded up as lap 28. Outlaw's in 3rd position. He'll be going to the end of the race now. And Outlaw's done very well in this race. He's out on his own at the moment. Just there as MSP, J-Town and Tony are side by side again, looking at the map. We then have Spurgey, who has Nisman. Nisman's done very well. Remember, Nisman started right at the back of the field, pretty much. He was in around 14th position, 15th position. He's now up into 5th position. It's definitely one of the drivers of the day, definitely there in Nisman. Doing very well indeed. See a bit of a dodgy qualifying session. Done very well in the race, though. And he could be in a battle for that 4th position with Spurgey. The tyres are... This one's got better tyres. Front right especially, that's where the main difference is between those two. So Nisman's definitely got a chance of getting that 4th position. A little bit further down the field, Moleman is having a battle with somebody there. When it loads, it looks like he's battling GM Matthew. Both Lexuses, Lexus Petronas Toms, don't want to take each other out. Matthew's been very unlucky in his race, started in 2nd position and has now dropped to 13th place. It's not been the best races for Matthew. Few mistakes here and there. Just want to settle down. Russ, very unlucky getting that engine damage. He's at the back there, 16th. He'll just want to put his head down now. Hope that someone makes a mistake up front. Maybe get 1 or 2 positions. There's been a bit of a change up front here. Tony's got a bit of a gap. What's happened here? Let's have a look at the live timing briefly. Looks like the 1st sector, J-Town made a mistake of some kind. Lost 6 tenths. Then lost another 10th in that 2nd sector. In the 3rd sector he lost out as well. How is that? That's not a 1 second gap. It's around 8 tenths. Let's see what it is when we cross the line. 9 tenths. Not too far off there. Nearly a second though. Nearly a second. But J-Town's going to come back there. I think these two will be there till the end of the race. We've got a big battle though with Spurgey and Nisman as they come on the start finish straight. It's a battle for 4th position. Sorry, 4th position. And is Spurgey going to defend this well? Nisman's looking. Goes down the outside. Spurgey defends very nicely there. Maintains that 4th position. So we've got little battles going on in the field. Little battles. Nobody's been lapped yet. Just shows you the quality of the field, especially when Tony and J-Town were absolutely flooring it at the start of this race. They built up such a gap early on. But at the moment, Tony's pulling away. Tony's definitely pulling away a little bit here. J-Town's going to have to really pull it together again. Now, look at fastest laps. Still the only 2 people in the 54s are Tony and J-Town. And J-Town's still got that little bit. And J-Town's made a mistake. I thought I saw some dust pull up. J-Town's made a little bit of mistake in that sector. Pushing very hard. made a bit of mistake in the Schumachers, and the problem with the Schumacher S's is if you hit the gravel you lose all the momentum coming up to that next corner. And he's definitely lost out, definitely over a second now. Has Tony done this? Has Tony pulled out enough of a gap? It definitely looks like it. He just doesn't want to make a mistake now. He just wants to put his head down and focus. Forget that J-Town even exists at this point in time. And we've also got Spurgey and Nisman. They look very close on this map. We're going to stay with these two for a bit now that J-Town and Tony have got a bit of a gap. This is the main battle for 4th position. Outlaw's on his own in 3rd. He'll just want a clean end to the race. He's got 10 laps to go for that. But these two are going to probably end up in an absolutely massive battle of slipstreams. Both in GTR, so there's no same strengths, weaknesses. Definitely straight line speed as well. As the Nisman looks to the inside. Definitely got it this time. Nisman jumps to the inside. Spurgey's looking for the cutback. Does get the cutback, but Nisman's on the inside for this left-hander. Spurgey going around the outside there. And has he done it? Nisman's trying to come back. Spurgey has done it. It's very well defended by Spurgey. Went round the outside, trying to maintain a little bit more speed. Did maintain that speed and keeps the 4th position from Nisman. I still put Nisman as my driver of the day so far. He came back from an awful lot of positions to come back in 5th position and fight for 4th. Just shows you qualifying is not everything in this. And well played there for Nisman so far. Hopefully he won't run out of fuel. I definitely won't run out of fuel this time. He did regret that. And he's still putting in the performance and a half here. Looking on the inside, putting his nose up there to Spurgey. I'm here. I am going to have that position, he's saying. But yeah, these two. Now the Schumacher S's. Spurgey running a little bit deep. Getting a bit of gravel. That loses your speed. As you can see there, and this man gaining a bit more speed. That's the problem with the Schumacher S's. You dip a wheel into that gravel, it loses you a lot of speed and momentum. We'll look at the live timing briefly. So Tony and MSP J-Town 1.5 seconds. This is really the closest battle between Spurgey and this man. Looking down the field, we have everyone is split up. The next closest one is Juju and Rico, who've been fighting for absolutely ages. That gap between Tony and J-Town is still 1.5 seconds. And this is definitely the closest battle. Hashino is definitely going to want to get back into this. He'll have the better tyres, won't he? Let's have a look at this briefly. Yep, he's got much better tyres. This is going to turn into a freeway race for 4th position. And Outlaw's been very smart with his strategy. Seems like this man has been very smart on strategy to get himself there. Because Outlaw was dropping it. If you remember at the start of this race, Outlaw was dropping off that pack. And the fact that he's gone up to 3rd when he was around 7th position. He's doing very well, his Outlaw with strategy. Did the same last time. Got with MSP J-Town with fuel. Managed to get really fast laps, especially with slipstream as well, and he got the jump on Spurgey in the championship, went up to 2nd in the championship, and he's going to maintain that. Or is he going to maintain that? I've just thought there, Tony's got the lead at the moment, hasn't he? So Tony might jump ahead of Outlaw. Outlaw stays ahead of Spurgey though, I suppose. That's all he wants to do. As they come onto this back straight, we're just seeing if Hashino is catching. He's definitely catching them. And Ghost Driver might be one to watch as well come towards the end of this race, because Ghost Driver's on a 2-stop strategy. There's somebody very close battling further down the field. I'm not sure who that is. It's is it those two? No, it's not actually. It's just the arrows look bigger than they actually are. That's Matthew. And we look at MSP J-Town. He's still in 2nd position. Looks like MSP J-Town's record is actually going to get broken here. He's pushing hard though. Tony's done a 154.1 as well now. It's still not the fastest. He's still... Remember, there's points for fastest lap. He's not got it yet. What's this lap time? It's a 0.3. J-Town does a 0.5, so that gap increases to 1.686. And you can tell these two are pushing hard. J-Town trying to just reduce any points lost with that fastest lap. He did that very early on when he was approaching the big groups after the first pit stop. Obviously the slipstream helps there. Ran a very wide there coming out of that corner. Outlaw on his own there in 3rd position. Spurgey and Nisman and Shinio all together. Spurgey trying to maintain that. Nisman's on the inside. Spurgey does maintain that. So it's a yellow hat sandwich there for Nisman. And he's going to have to be careful. These two could work together now to try and make sure that they get 4th and 5th. But in any case, Nisman's probably done what he wanted to do in this race, coming from so far back. Even a 6th position would be good for him. How's Ghost Driver doing? Is he reducing this gap? If they start battling especially. Looking at last lap, Ghost Driver lost out to Hoshino but gained on Nisman and Spurgey. He is 4 seconds off and he gained half a second. He could catch up by the end of this race, could Ghost Driver. He could catch up. We'll definitely keep an eye on that, but we've got the battle in between Nisman and Hoshino and Spurgey first. Ran a little bit wide there, did Nisman. Picked up a little bit of dirt. No, Hoshino running very close to the gravel. Didn't touch any, but that's how you do the Schumacher S's to perfection. Look at the speed he gained. Still can't make a move there on Nisman. Looks like the Calisonic's got a little bit more speed than the two yellow hats. I can only assume the yellow hats do share their setups because they're always very close to each other. Even when John Killer was racing with them and there was 3 together at Monza, they were all so close on times. As the Hoshino looks to the inside, doesn't quite get it. This man definitely knows he's there though, with the amount of weaving Hoshino's done behind him. But they're going to have to be careful of Ghost Driver. Ghost Driver's definitely catching him. And we'll definitely have a look at the end of this lap. Who's done what? As the front two have maintained the gap. So they're all in the 56.5s really, and Ghost Driver's in a 56.4. He didn't gain too much that lap. He is 3.8 seconds off Hoshino. He wants to get that down to 1 so he gets that slipstream. Maybe Hoshino doesn't want to battle to try and make sure that it is a freeway battle, especially near the end. You could wait a little bit, maybe wait till lap 38 and then start battling for that position. That sort of makes sure Ghost Driver can't get involved, but we'll see what he does. Nisman running a little bit wide there. There was 4 wheels over the white line. But they're very close. Nisman doesn't look like he's trying to attack Spurgey. It looks like he's just trying to wait. So Nisman could be doing the same thing, thinking about Ghost Driver further back. And just saying, I'll hold back a little bit and I'll try at the end of the race. Hoshino's got much better tyres, you see, as well. So like, Hoshino really could do with breaking away from these and trying to catch Outlaw, you know, for 3rd position. But Spurgey's ahead in the championship, so maybe wants to make sure Spurgey gets some more points. Could be team orders come into play. We'll have to see. So they come round. The Schumacher S is there. Still no change between these 3. There's little pockets of battles happening all over the field. A bit further down we've got Juju and Rico. We've been following them for a few laps before. Then have Phaedrus and GM Matthew. They're in a bit of a close battle. And then behind them we've got Moleman and Andro. And then we've got Russ right there. Russ doesn't want to get lapped. You know, the leaders have just crossed the start finish straight. And what have they done lap times wise? J-Town gained 2 tenths that lap. This will be tyre wear coming into play now. As you can see, J-Town has slightly better wear. So this could be where J-Town's strategy of just staying out an extra lap might come into play and might get back in the slipstream. But for the moment, he's not in that slipstream. And it's Tony's to lose at the moment. He's doing very well, keeping hold of it. But you've got to think about the nerves in that car when you've been racing for an hour now and it's this close. You're just thinking, when will this end? When will this end? These guys still not fighting. I was expecting this to be quite an epic battle, but it turns out they are just lying astern and just waiting for something to happen. Unfortunate for Ghost Driver though, who is lost. He's losing time to these guys now. Only a little bit of time, but he's losing time. And you don't want to be losing time if you're trying to catch them. He's still 3.9 seconds off Hoshino and he needs to be closer. So if you call it 2.9 seconds, he's got to get that in 6 laps. So it's 4 or 5 tenths a lap, and I don't think he's going to do that. How are Ghost Driver's tyres? Yeah, they're not too good. Hoshino's in the best situation here. Hoshino could get... Oh, he's gone off! Bit of a slide. He'll catch that back up though with those tyres. Have to be careful in Schumacher S's. This is what Ghost Driver needed. This is exactly what Ghost Driver needed, because now he gets slipstream off a car with much better tyre wear, and that brings him right into the hands of Spurgey and Nisman. a commentator's curse there, or helpful for Ghost Driver at least, but Ghost Driver could actually come straight back into this to fight for 4th position. It's exactly what he needed. Is he in the 1 second gap? He might just be outside it. This could be very torturing for Ghost Driver. He's going to want to get into there. You can see Nisman and Spurgey that were fighting. What's he going to do? He's definitely in the 1 second gap there. This is going to help Ghost Driver a ton. We're going to watch this as they come across the line. So to Spurgey it was about 4 seconds. It was 3.9 to Hoshino. A bit more than that perhaps. But Spurgey is on a 30 basically, and Ghost Driver's 33.6. He's catching. He's now going to be catching at a fair old pace of knots. He gained nearly a second that lap alone. And this man jumps up to 4th position. This man has jumped up to 4th position. Got him on the inside of the first corner, and he's solidly taken that position now. So that's this man up to 4th. Ghost Driver in the distance. Hoshino's going to want to come back at this. He will come back at this as well with those fresh tyres. So 2-stop looks like it is the faster strategy here. 2-stop definitely looks like the faster strategy, although this man's done well on a 1-stop. Very close indeed. We've got a bit of a battle going on a bit further down the field with Pasm and who's that? Juju and Rico. They've caught up to Pasm actually. They've got much better tyres. Pasm's going to come under some serious pressure here. As they now come up to this left-hander, and then it says right, and then there's a long straight. So Juju and Rico going to want to get past Pasm. I assume with 5 laps to go, Pasm's tyres are just going to drop off, and these two are just going to fly by. We'll have to watch and wait and see. Pasm defends on the inside. Juju looks to the outside. Nothing's going to happen for him there. Looks to the inside, gets the cut back on the corner. And that's Juju up to 9th place. Very good move. Pasm runs a bit wide. Slight tap on the nose. Run a bit wide into the gravel. Rico goes through in 10th position, and Juju really didn't want that. Rico runs a bit wide on the Schumacher S's. Did I just see MSP J-Town? They are fighting for the lead once again. They've caught each other up. What's happened on the laps that's caused that? Nothing much. Tony just had a bit worse of a lap, and that's just tyre wear, it looks like. So J-Town gets the lead. They've got 4 laps of battling to do. Who's going to get the win? J-Town going to keep his 100% record, or is Tony going to take that record away from him? So they now come into this left-hander. It's going to be great to watch here. We've also got to watch out for the Nisman, Spurgey and Hoshino battle. How close is Ghost Driver to this battle? Still not close enough. He didn't manage to hold on to that slipstream. As you can see there, 57.0. He's putting 3 seconds off. I don't think Ghost Driver is going to do that now. He had his opportunity though there, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out for him. But we're with the leaders at the moment. There's 4 laps of this to go. Tony getting a bit aggressive there. Bit of gravel. Put him a bit off centre there. He's back on the racing line though. It's not too bad for him. MSP J-Town running perfectly there onto the curbs. And Tony's following close behind. We'll jump with Tony. See what Tony's going to do. Come to the chicane. Is he going to stay behind? Is he going to try and go for a deep move? Could play strategy now. Try and hold on behind. Try and get minimal tyre wear and then try and jump him at the end. As they come under, Tony's trying to cut it short. Definitely cut that there. Very definitely cut that. Maybe just underbroke himself there. He didn't gain anything from it, so except dirt on his tyres, so it's not too bad. It looked like he broke really too early and turned in and realised that he could carry more speed essentially. But they start lap 37 of this 40 lap race. Tony looks to the inside, gets his nose down, and little tap on the rear. Tony gives him a bit of space. J-Town still got the inside for this next corner, and J-Town keeps that position. Remains in first position there for MSP J-Town. We'll jump to the other battle briefly, see what this man's going to do with Spurgey and Hoshino. Hoshino still hasn't got past Spurgey. A little bit of gravel picked up there. Ghost Driver looks like he's a bit closer actually. Ghost Driver looks very close compared to what he was. What's Ghost Driver just done on that last lap? Half a second quicker. So he is 2.5 seconds-ish off there. So Ghost Driver, well, maybe I shouldn't have written Ghost Driver off just yet to catch up to these two, or these 3 should I say, because these are battling. Keep an eye out for that. Spurgey's a bit all over the place. Hoshino's I reckon he's playing strategically here. He's definitely playing strategically. He's got much better tyres. I can see him waiting till the end of the race here and then just popping past them both to get that 4th position. Definitely keep an eye out for that. Here we've got a big battle going on the straight with Phaedrus. Phaedrus, Andro and Molman. And is Phaedrus going to come under pressure from Andro? He does indeed. Andro goes to the inside to take 13th place from Phaedrus. And he definitely gets that indeed. Defends it well. Runs a bit wide, a bit deep, but that's not too bad. And Molman's then going to be on to Phaedrus as well. Pasm's all out on his own now, isn't he? We'll jump to the leaders as it's J-Town, followed by Tony. They come around the last corner. I only know that from the map until it loads. There we go, it loads perfectly. And they start lap 38. J-Town instantly goes to defend on the inside. It's going to be Tony, then he'll move to the left more than likely. Is he going to... Ooh, that was very smart. Tony was waiting. Tony thought J-Town might move back, but didn't. He looks to the inside, tries to get the cutback, doesn't work. J-Town then remains in first position. They've got 2 laps to go now. 2 laps to go to try and get the win there for Tony. Or is J-Town going to get the win and keep his 100% record? Obviously J-Town's got a bit better tyres. It's only the rear tyres that are affecting Tony. So that just shows you it's rear wheel drive car. And that means it's just throttle on the exit of the corner. It means it'll be a bit slippier on the exit. As you can see there, car got a bit sideways. So you can see where the extra grip of J-Town has compared to Tony. I'm just going to jump back to Ghost Driver. Looks even closer here actually. And who's that coming behind? That's Skendig. We could be in for a bit of a 5-way battle for 4th position here, because Skendig has got the best eyes of the lot here, and I assume Skendig is actually catching it. Yeah, Skendig is gaining half a second. There's, well, if you include this lap, 3 laps to go, and that would put him right in the back of Ghost Driver, who in turn is catching Hoshino. That's under 2 seconds now. You could be in for an epic finale here with J-Town and Tony, and then that huge battle for 4th. But we're just watching J-Town and Tony now. Tony looks like he's just holding off a little bit. He's still fighting on the straights. Could be a bit of smart play, pretending to fight and then hoping that, you know, J-Town keep defending, trying to use a bit more of J-Town's tyre wear. J-Town comes across the line now. Start the penultimate lap, lap 39. 200 Ks we've been racing. Well, that's what we're aiming for. We're over 190. What's he going to do? Last 2 laps now. Is Tony going to get him? Not this time round. Obviously, he's going to have to be a bit smart as well. Somebody's off. Oh no, the map was just playing with me there. I don't know if anyone else saw that on the map. Someone had just stopped. It looked like Outlaw, but just the arrow sticking there briefly. They come up running a little bit wide as well, but there's no problem there as they continue on. These two have been fighting from the very word go. Tony obviously started on pole. J-Town was in 3rd position. J-Town had to make the move on GM Matthew very quickly indeed, and these two just launched themselves into their own little battle for pace. Tony made a little mistake early on, lost a second. That brought the slipstream together. So this is how it ended up then, with strategy, both on a 2-stop strategy. And leaders of the 1-stop is actually Outlaw, isn't it? Yeah, Outlaw's arrow must have just stuck because it says he's got engine damage and he won't be going that quick with engine damage. So definitely something's gone wrong there. These two are actually catching back markers, so this could turn into a bit of a further battle. Who is that? Is that Phaedrus? Phaedrus has lost out a huge amount. I'm not sure what's happened to Phaedrus, but he's going to be coming under pressure from Russ. Russ has done very well if he's going to get a position back here, especially after that engine damage earlier on, but they're going to have to watch out for the leaders as well. This could bring it all into chaos because these will be catching at more than a second a lap. They're 157s, they're 155s. It's about 1.5 to 2 seconds. This could play into J-Town's hands because he could use slipstream on the last lap. So they're the 2 Hondas, they're the Lexus Dental Cells. They start the final lap. We're going to see what happens. Is J-Town going to get it? Is Tony going to get it? J-Town defends very hard early on. Tony looks to the inside, looks to dive, and J-Town defends it very nicely indeed. They stay tight, they stay tight. Still J-Town in the lead from Tony. So that's a bit of lap done now. It's J-Town still leading. Where's Tony going to make his move? These back markers better get out of the way. This could cause all havoc. As now we come on to this little start. That's the first sector basically done now for these guys, and they're approaching back markers. That's one of them diving. That was, who was that? Oh, whoa, that was the Lexus of Tony has gone off. I'm unsure what's happened here. Tony has gone off. Who caused that? Did Russ cause that? Or did Phaedrus cause that? There's been a bit of a... I said this would happen, that these back markers... I'm not... It looked like Phaedrus got out of the way and then Russ dived out of the way onto the gravel, or the other way around. Anyway, that's caused a bit of an issue. So that's J-Town's going to win this, but now we're looking at this big battle between Ghost Drivers. Definitely in there. We've got Nisman. Nisman's just been overtaken by Ghost Driver. Skendicky's now in this battle as well. I said it'd be a 5-way battle coming into this last lap, and it is. Ghost Driver's going to want to defend from Skendicky. Spurgey's now got Hashino on his tail. Hashino's got a bit better tyre wear as well. Is that MSP J-Town coming across the line? It will be MSP J-Town. Tony's still going to get second though, so it's not all over for Tony. Not sure what happened there with that. We'll probably have a re-look at that actually. We'll jump to that at the end of the race just to have a look, because I'm very interested what happened. But we're going to follow Spurgey and Hashino. We've got Ghost Driver, Skendicky. They're not going to catch these two. Between these two, is Hashino going to overtake Spurgey? He's got the better tyres to do it, but is he going to do it? J-Town's just crossed the line. Just crossed the line there. So Tony's next up. Where's Outlaw? Outlaw was too far behind to really capitalise on that. Shows you the lead they had though. Look, Outlaw's car looks ruined. The front wheel is pointing right, but that's just a graphical error. Tony, very unfortunate. Had an absolutely stunning battle with MSP J-Town there. Unfortunate for him. He finishes in second. We've got movement there, Spurgey and Hashino, but we've got Outlaw there finishing in third position. We're just going to jump to this battle briefly. We've got Spurgey, Hashino. It's going to remain Spurgey. Ghost Driver looks to the inside. That was a very late lunge by Ghost Driver. And who's got this? Spurgey. Hashino's got him on the line. Hashino's got him on the line. No, Spurgey. My leaderboard's messed up. I have no idea who's finished fourth there. Ghost Driver finished in sixth. Skendicky seventh. Nisman has finished in eighth position. Still a good race from Nisman. Definitely my driver of the day there. Doing that many moves. It's Juju and Rico. 9th and 10th spot there for those two drivers. And then we've got GM Matthew. Very unfortunate race for him. He started in second. He's going to finish in 11th place. And we've got Pazum there finishing in 12th position. We then have Andro. Was RB26. His name is now Andro. He's finishing in 13th position there. Moleman, his first time in Lounge 1, finishing in 14th. And then the two back markers which caused all sorts of chaos. Russ and Phaedrus finishing 15th, 16th. And we'll just have a look at the leaderboard there. And he's still on the gravel, so he's obviously trying to stay out of the way. So that's your leaderboard for this race. So J-Town getting the win. Also getting the fastest lap there, so a few extra points. Outlaw got there, third position. Not sure whether he maintains that second spot in the championship there. The two yellow hats. So Hashino did get it from Spurgey then in the end. I'm wondering whether Spurgey let him go, because that was very close at the end. Then we've got Ghost Driver, Skendicky, Nisman, Juju and MSP Rico around your top 10. It was GM Matthew, Pazum, Andro, Moleman, Russ and Phaedrus. But before we go, we're going to have a look at what happened on that last lap. So, jump back to lap 39. Nope. Here we go. So we're going to leave it from here. So we can't really jump any much further without doing too much. So we'll just watch it from here. So obviously Phaedrus has made a little bit of a mistake, and Russ has caught up to the back of him. So we can see the leaders back there. They're fighting nose to tail. MSP J-Town and Tony. They're first and second, and this was obviously TP-Russ. So he's obviously come up behind his teammate. Looks a little bit skittish there, but that could just be graphical, especially with latency issues. Phaedrus looks like he's struggling a bit. What's Phaedrus' tyres like? Let's have a look at this. Yeah, so yeah, Phaedrus was struggling with tyre wear. Rust. So this is the start of the last lap. So you can see the two leaders there battling it out as they come into this first corner, these back markers. So you'll get to know if there's any penalties applied, because I'm not sure what's going to happen next. So obviously you can see J-Town and Tony really pushing hard. It looks really awesome from this camera angle, actually, this battle. So there you go, as they come into this left-hander now. Now this is where it all kicks off, so let's pay attention now. So we've got Phaedrus, who stays to the left, stays to the left, stays to the left, pulls to there. It looks like Tony made his own mistake. Now, I'm just going to rewind that a bit further again. Obviously, we're just going to have to wait a bit longer, briefly. So, for those of you who just wanted to watch the race, you can leave now if you really, really want to. Or you can just stay and see what happens to Tony. So, we know Russ gets out of the way. It's nothing to do with Russ. Russ gets out of the way. It looked like Phaedrus got out of the way, but then Tony looks like he went to the inside, dropped a wheel, maybe? So I just want to watch it from Tony's perspective. So obviously we can watch this now. Might actually jump to the actual screen there. Do we have an in-car view? No, we don't have an in-car view. But we'll stay on the outside view now, so we can see what happens. You can see the cars, very, very twitchy. Obviously, tyre wear, low fuel. As they're on the start-finish straight now. Obviously, they start the last lap once again. What happens to Tony in this next sector? So he looks to the inside. J-Town defends very nicely there. Stays to the inside. Stays tight. Means Tony can't go anywhere. So he has to. He's forced to stay behind. So this is where it all happened again. So we've seen it from Russ's perspective. We're now watching it from Tony's perspective. So obviously Tony goes off. So what happens here? So Phaedrus pulls to the left. Russ carries on. Sorry. So J-Town then has to go to the left. So that was either a latency issue or Phaedrus suddenly broke and Tony wasn't braking there. So one of the two things happened there. You'll find out if there's any penalties applied next race, because I will let you know. I don't know what's happened with the point scoring until after the race. That's when I have a look at the timing sheet properly. So we know what's happened there to Tony now. He actually got engine damage as well, so he did well to come round. Tony's hit the back left-hand side of Phaedrus' car there. I'm not sure what Phaedrus was doing because he was far to the left then came to the right. So, yep, that's how that happened, and you've seen the results for the race. I'm not sure whether I can fast forward to the results again. Yeah, so there are your results. That's been the Nurburgring 200k, and we'll see you at round 5, which is at Fuji, and that's where we're going to have some more heated races, so that should be very, very good to watch. So I'll see you guys at the next race.